I grew up in Cuba under a strong military oppressive dictatorship. So as a teenager, I found myself involved in a revolution. I remember during that time a young charismatic leader rose up talking about hope and change. His name was Fidel Castro.
This is RevMichelleHopkins.
And, we all followed him. We thought he was going to be our liberator. As a result of being involved in the revolution, I was imprisoned, I was tortured, but by the grace of God, I was able to leave Cuba on a student visa and came to the greatest country on the face of the earth. I think the most ominous words I've ever heard was in the last two State of the Union addresses, when our president said, if Congress does not act, I will act unilaterally. Not much different than that or bearded friend that I left behind in Cuba, governing by decree, by executive order, just like a dictator like Fidel Castro. I feel that without a shadow of a doubt, outside of the Bible, the greatest two documents that have ever been penned are the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence. And the reason those two documents have lasted for 230 years is because they were written on the knees of the framers. Men of God seeking wisdom from above. And those truths are as relevant today as they were 230 years ago. And when we see the intrusion upon our liberties, when we see whether it is looking at our emails or listening to our telephone calls, or when we see the IRS targeting Tea Party groups, freedom-loving groups, because for their political ideology, I say, we can remain silent no more! Silent no more!
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Hello, my name is Erin Weiss, and I live in the town of Poughkeepsie. I'm a combat veteran of Iraq, and I'm also a law enforcement officer. I attended the Public Safety Committee's last meeting in regards to this resolution, but I didn't say anything because I wanted to hear what everyone else had to say. And I heard some shocking things from some people and some legislators. They said that it took a lot of courage to pass this SAFE Act. Apparently my definition of courage differs from yours. You see, if it was really so courageous a bill and it took so much courage to pass it, then why was it done in the middle of the night when no one could see it or read it? That's not courage. That's a mafia-style sit-down and divvy up what's good for the bosses. Courage is taking the right and true course of action, not the politically expedient one. And anyone who is proud of this law must also be proud of the Patriot Act, the TSA, imprisoning Japanese citizens in World War II, since all these actions were spurred on by emotional fear and rammed through in the name of public safety. Another issue is the insistence of certain people to stand on the graves of dead children and challenge those that disagree to say it to the parents' faces. Well, I, for one, will pick up that gauntlet. First off, why is dead children your battle cry? You didn't say anything about the hundreds of Chicago children being killed, and for some reason you only scream when it happens to wealthy white ones. And yes, I will say to anyone's face, my right is more important than your dead, because I fought for it firsthand. I washed the blood of my friends out of my Humvee, and I picked up their mangled bodies, and I fought day in and day out. I did more things that you people can't imagine. So yeah, my right trumps your dead. I earned it in blood. I gave up a lot for this country, including my youth, and better men than me gave up a whole lot more, so that all you, myself included, could enjoy the rights that are guaranteed to us in our Constitution and Bill of Rights. And we didn't go through all that to come back home and watch the surrender of what we fought for happen based on the demented actions of a couple madmen. So in closing, I would like to address specifically the legislators we all know who are going to vote against this resolution. I understand you will vote against this resolution based on some misguided sense of the public good. However, as a law enforcement officer, I'm curious to know about your true resolve. Since voting to take away someone's rights is totally different than being asked to enforce it, I want you to consider this. If you support the SAFE Act so wholeheartedly, are you willing to stand with law enforcement members and lead from the front to enforcement? And what I mean by that is if a constituent of yours feels so alienated by this law and the manner in which it was passed that they refuse to comply with it, are you willing to stack up on their front door and go in first? I bet if a clause was in this bill that required you, the elected leadership, our elected leaders, to go in the door first, I bet you would not be so steadfast.
Hello out there, this is the old Marine Vaughn. I was given a video today by a dear friend of a gentleman that has passed now. His name was Daniel Summers. All right, this was a veteran that served his country well, that because of a head injury came home and they had no cure for him. He left and went with our Father. You know, I'm not going to go any further with that other than pray for his family and pray for those that are in dire strait right now that have served our country. That is the important news right now. And what we have going on, believe it or not, is this lithium thing that was sprayed on the 4th, which I said was a big blast. And RevMichelleHopkins did a very good scientific breakdown on that, because what it shows, what this lithium is doing to the people. You know, it's the same thing as the chemical that they give you for mood, bipolar, and other disorders. And if in high doses, it'll make you deathly sick, and it truly is not good for us. So why are they spraying this into the air? It's just one more sign that they're, just like down in Georgia, Stones say they're going to eliminate the population of this world. And this was spoken of by Steve Quayle and some of the other watchmen years back, that said that they would spray something in the air that would be the beginning, okay? And I believe that this has gone on for a while, because there was actually a newscast that was talking about this, that they had spoken to Japan about this use to calm people that were, you know, people that were awake. We needed to put more sleep is what it amounted to. And this is what they're actually using. And it's affecting Michelle. And that's why she went to the extreme to find all the information she could about that, and to put that video out there, because it's very important to her to let people know that it's going to affect a lot more of us. I have felt differently since some of the changes in the chemtrails, and I couldn't figure it out for myself what it was.
And I think people need to understand this stuff is real, man. It's real. And we got them on video at NASA saying they sprayed your area with lithium. We got them. So I think I would like you to explain what that does and what happened up to that point with NexRad and how all that works together, maybe. Okay, Michelle, you're up.
On space.com, we were told that rockets red glare, NASA marks 4th of July with double launch. They said that they launched 2 small rockets from Virginia's eastern shore on the 4th of July, and one of those rockets had lithium gas compound in it. The other rocket was basically to observe. Now, some things that we should talk about. Lithium. First of all, lithium, it comes in its purest form as a silver white metal, and it's really the lightest metal and least dense solid element. It's an alkali metal, and it's very highly reactive, very flammable. This stuff will burn in water, okay, with a little bit of frequency or electromagnetic activity involved in it. All you have to do is zap it. That stuff is aflame. And I saw a video just yesterday of someone who looked up in the sky, and the clouds up in the sky were actually on fire. It didn't look like it was on fire. There were flames. That stuff was burning, and it burned itself out as she continued to videotape that. Well, that was lithium, okay? You touch lithium with a little bit of frequency, and we are off. Lithium is prized for its instability. It's used actually in thermonuclear weapons. When we create staged thermonuclear weapons, lithium-6, I think it's deuteride, it serves as a fusion fuel for that. It's put up in the air as a desiccant to draw moisture away from that air, and then it is moved by frequency to another area. It rains down on that area or creates whatever havoc or whatever weather control they want to use in whatever area. If they want it to rain down on you, they'll do it low. They'll spray it low so that you get that moisture. If they don't want it to rain down on you, they spray it high. And they gather the moisture up high and then move it away.
Well, I'm wondering, Michelle, remember the NextRad circle that was just a few days prior to these two rockets being shot off with the lithium?
Yes, June 28th. I'll never forget it. We have video and pictures, which I will be getting up in one of my next videos. So
why did they target your area after they had targeted it with NextRad? Why that area?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? I mean, what are they doing with the frequencies? And to know exactly what they're doing with the frequencies, because we don't know the frequencies. All we can do is examine the results of the frequencies. The results on me personally with these frequencies are a dumbing down, but it causes side effects very similar to lithium side effects. You have this overall lethargy and a headache, a constant headache, and your tremors all over your body. And you feel like the earth under you and your furniture under you is actually shaking, like you're having an earthquake or something. But it's you. You're what's shaking. There's an overall feeling of just being dazed and confused and trying very hard to concentrate. This stuff, it is causing people to be like zombies.
Mm-hmm.
It's changing people's personalities.
And why would they want to dumb down that area?
Well, FEMA Region 3, we've been told, is the area where they're going to be asking Russian troops to come and help them with this oncoming disaster, whatever is upcoming that is a disaster that they already know is going to happen.
This is RevMichelleHopkins. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.